Hey, welcome back, everybody. Time once again for an OC Spotlight, where we meet the most incredible people doing the most amazing things right here in our own backyard. And today, I only have to say 2 letters, and you're instantly going to want to hear the whole thing. What are those 2 letters? You know, it's the future. It's the letter A and the letter I. AI. You say those 2 words, everything stops. The whole conversation stops. Everybody wants to know more, me included. And today we're going to talk with somebody who's been using AI for a dozen years or more. This isn't a new thing, a Johnny come lately. This is a computer scientist who's been working with this technology for a long time, who has now turned it into a business to help small businesses, big businesses, any business, how to use AI as a solution, as to solve problems within their company or all sorts of problems. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to talk to somebody who really knows the subject matter, not just somebody who's been studying how to do prompts in ChatGPT. This is the man you want to talk to. We have Hamid, see, make sure I get this right, K Khandan. Hamid Khandan, welcome to the show from Universal Informatics.
Hi, Paul. Did perfect job with the name, by the way. I go by K. Great to be here.
I can see why you go by K, because I'm sorry, I've stumbled over it. So K, I'll remember. K, I got.
One of the many reasons.
Universal Informatics. Okay, so tell us what you do, and then we'll talk about how you got into it.
All right. Can I do it in reverse?
Or back to reverse.
Yeah,
tell us how you got into it. There you go.
Yeah. So I envisioned a world made of AI agents when I was doing my PhD thesis 20 years ago.
Wow.
I kind of...
Not everybody saw this. Some did. Obviously, it turned into the ChatGPTs and the Claude and all the other stuff that took a while to develop, but you were one of the early pioneers in this.
I was one of the people who kind of... I thought this could be the future, but I didn't come up with the idea. The original idea is from a scientist called Marvin Minsky at MIT.
Okay.
And it dates back to early 60s and 70s when computer science was not even there, but these people envision AI, and not only AI, but agentic AI. So
and agentic AI, you say that's a term like everybody should understand it. I don't know that term. That just simply means there's an agent. It isn't just spit out a bunch of stuff in a text after I text prompt it. It actually talks to me.
So the lab that I worked at was called Autonomous Decentralized Systems.
Okay.
And that is what agents really means. It means agents. It means the ability to be able to make decisions on your own. How you're going to do it, obviously you have to have certain amount of intelligence, but right. What makes you an agent is the fact that you can think on your own and make decisions on your own.
So these are the new secret agents that we're going to empower to run the world here. That's what it seems. The robots, that's what I just call them. We're creating robot technology. You played one for me. It's amazing. Other than the lag between when I ask a question and when the robot replies to me in a very human voice, I wouldn't know that it's not a human. It's getting that close to being indistinguishable, at least when I listen to it. Maybe not when I watch it, but at least when I listen to it. Is that we've made leaps and bounds. You're building these AI agents for people.
Yeah, that's true. And by the way, now we have an army of these agents.
That's army of them. That sounds scary.
I'm so sorry. We have an entire company made of these agents.
Okay.
The newsroom, right? We are working on this project that agents go around, they gather news, they do editorial, they write the script, and then they deliver it as podcasts. Completely hands off. We don't do anything.
So you let the cat out of the bag early here. That's how I met you here. I'm at UCI's Applied Innovation Center. That's where my studio exists. I don't know. I feel like a fish out of water. I'm the only guy that doesn't have a PhD in something in this building. And we started chatting one day about the work he does, and he played me some of the agents. And I said, I have a need. I'm trying to be a community voice, a community radio station. And yet all I am is people have to come in the studio, maybe via Zoom, but we come in and we talk about companies and worlds and industries, whether it's UCI Law School or the Hispanic Chamber or commercial real estate. We're talking about these little sub-worlds, and we bring in guests, we talk about them. But I'd like to be more than just a radio station, more than just a conversational platform. I'd like to be a community voice. I'd like to be a community gathering place where people learn about what's happening in the community. And that's very hard to pull together that data. And you said, AI can do that. I said,
And
never
it did,
thought of
didn't
it.
it?
It did. And suddenly you came back and I said, let's just start off as a simple thing, like a community calendar. When I was a kid, not even when I was a kid, 20, 30 years ago when I came to LA, you went to the LA Times or something like that. There was a huge community calendar. That's where everything was listed. All the PR people, all the events, everybody put their stuff there, the concerts, the baseball games, the free events, the kids events, the car shows, everything. All that was gathered, and a human typed it all in and printed it on a piece of paper, and you got it delivered to your house, and you flipped through it, and you said, what am I going to do this weekend? Started to go online. Everybody has a calendar. If you go to the Honda Center, if you go to the Bowers Museum, if you go to the Irvine Chamber, they'll have a few of their events, but not every event. They only have what applies to their little world. So there is no one central spot anymore where you can gather this. Everybody has to decide, what am I going to do this weekend? And you say, I don't know. I saw a sign, I heard about this, or I look up and I got an email about this. I said, well, could we collect all that data and put together a master calendar for Orange County? And you did it.
Yeah, so when you mentioned that, that actually struck a right chord with me, because before I'm an AI scientist, I am a community person.
Yeah.
And inside my community, we really do that have gap. I'm working with Lions Club, I work with the Art Association, I work with a lot of nonprofits.
Up in La Habra where you live,
and
right?
my city of La Habra, my beloved city of La Habra. And
This beloved city of that don't we all have a beloved connection? We're 34 cities in Orange County, and we all have a beloved connection to Tustin or Newport Beach or Huntington Beach or wherever it is, or Laguna Beach. Wherever it is that we reside, we have a feeling of community there. And my challenge to you was, how do you know what's happening in your community? And you said,
and you know, as you mentioned in the past, we had radio stations
right,
that were the voice of the community. They were like, you know, the nexus that the community could
right,
come together, and we don't have them anymore because of the budget reasons, because of technology, because
right,
of, you know, the way, like, you know, large companies operate. I don't know whatever the reason is, but we don't have it anymore.
right.
And when you mentioned it, I realized that, hey, that is going to solve a problem, and guess who can solve that problem? Right.
So there's a perfect example,
Yeah.
folks, of how AI, so you use these, explain it in layman's terms. Somehow you take these AI agents, these robotic crawlers or something, and they go crawl websites, the internet and everything, and then they come back and tell you what they found. You've created parameters, look for this, find this, categorize it under this, and you came up with, and we put just a very crude version up, just looks like just a calendar you'd see in, I don't know, an Outlook or something here, and you've populated with local events that were there. How do you do that?
Yeah, so there are two aspects into it. One is the autonomy, the fact that agents can decide what should they do next,
Right.
so they can do it hands-on, hands-off. And then
You don't have to tell them everything. You give them you say, go, here's the parameter, here's the, what would you call it, the command, go find this, and with certain parameters, and they then on their own search and do it.
And then what we have these days that we didn't have back in the day that I was making AI agents, which is a large language model technology.
Right.
What they can do with it is really powerful. They can look at different websites, different sources. It doesn't matter how the structure is.
How it's encoded, where it's not.
Yeah.
They can find that, because it's all written data.
True.
So they have to find written versions of something, right?
So they can extract structured data from unstructured input.
Right. Structured data from unstructured input. Boy, that's the secret of AI in a nutshell. All right, so this artificial intelligence, these robotic agents that you build and create must be pretty sophisticated programs.
So yeah, they are. So I don't think we ever talked about it, but a part of the newsroom project that we did, there is actually a simulated city of agents in it.
A simulated city of agents.
There is a simulated city of agents, and each one of these agents impersonates a person in that demographic. It's a particular percentage of demographic in the realistic way, the way that we have it in the actual society. In my case, it's the city of La Habra.
Right.
And they vote on news. And they say, this particular news matters to me and that one doesn't.
Really?
They do it.
Because that's what I was going to say, because now they collect this. That was always, 10 years ago, we called it big data. The internet is, everything's got a connection. My refrigerator now is connected to the internet. So I'm getting data from my refrigerator. Is the shelf full? When's the last time I did this? All sorts of stuff we're just starting to explore. We're extracting data from everything because we're putting sensors and we're connected to the internet. The problem is it's a fire hose. Floods us with data, and we don't know what to do or to make of it. These large language models were the next step that said we will analyze the data for you and tell you what's worth looking at.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a whole lot of this in the newsroom. Some of them are for extracting structures, some of them are for writing scripts. We actually have an entire organization running on servers, working on different parts of this project. And we also have the entire simulated audience as well, just to be able to predict what's the
started
best
to vote
story
on
for
it and say this would
Yeah.
be interesting. This would
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
So
very
let's sift it. So here's a collection of everything, and then let's sift it down to some of the more important stuff. So you can see everything if you want, but there's also ways to search and scroll through it and break it down into different categories. And then the most revolutionary part for a radio station like me, a podcast channel like me, whatever you want to think, a voice, is to turn it into a voice. And you picked a couple of robots who sound like real people, a guy and a girl, and they have a conversation. Hey, Sue, hey, Tom, did you hear about this? No, there's something happening. It is? What's happening? And they tell you what they think are the most interesting things. We're doing it as an experiment in La Habra because that's where you live, but it could be one for every city.
Yeah, that's true. And by the way, the most exciting part of it for me as a curator is that I really don't know what they are going to pick.
That's what shocked me. So you played me a couple. We should have. Maybe we'll put a link in here to where this test thing is being run. I should have played it during. I didn't think of this here, but you played me a couple, and you laughed. You said, "I live in La Habra. I'm in the chamber. I'm in the Lions Club. I didn't know the Lions Club was doing this event next week. I didn't know this was happening in my own town. And yet you told me before, I'm very involved in community. I know what's happening in my community. La Habra is kind of a small, tight-knit, little suburban community like
So
many
I'm
in our
supposed to know everything that's happening around me, but it's still these guys
It shocked you.
could,
Surprised you.
could find something that did matter to me, but I didn't know about it.
Yeah. An art exhibit or a comedy night or something that you weren't aware was taking place.
Come on, man.
Or a
That's
free
so much
event,
fun.
speaking, somebody's talking at the local library or something here. So we're testing this thing, folks, and we're doing this show as a way to kind of preview it and let you in on the secret. We'll keep exploring this as part of OC Talk Radio's commitment to be the only community radio station, the only community voice, a community, maybe not the only one, a community voice in a community that has no collective voice. We have 34 individual cities, 34 individual voices. Overall image of ourselves is somehow connected to this thing called the OC, Orange County, because of all the TV shows and the Real Housewives and all this stuff. Somehow we've built this connection and this brand identity, but we're giving it a voice. We're giving it a place that talks to you and talks with you, not just to you, but talks with you about, takes you into the different parts of these communities, the different subworlds, commercial real estate, what's happening on campuses here, and then turns it into an event calendar that you can subscribe to for free, like you can listen to these podcasts for free, and find out what's happening in your community.
Local community. Yeah,
Who knew?
Like the way that nobody has done it before.
I think this is exciting. Now, let's talk about that's the project you're doing with me and our station. What other kinds of projects do you build? What other things are you doing?
All right, so the whole
and
paradigm.
I'm sorry, your company is Universal Informatics.
LLC. Yeah.
Go look up Universal Informatics, and you'll see a variety of things projects that he's working on in his background. This is a real computer scientist. Before we dive into that, I gotta go down a rabbit hole for 1 second. We've had so-called AI experts on our station, and I find out later. Last year they were selling real estate. 2 years ago they were in marketing. 5 months ago they were raising money for something. They don't all have. Very few of them have a real underlying understanding of the technology. They may have learned how to talk to it. There are these chat engineers emerging who know how to create a better inquiry than I do and to get a better result.
Prompt engineers.
But that doesn't mean that they understand the robot on a level like you do.
So The
Is
part
that
of it,
true?
the part of the excitement of it is that I've been waiting for this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Because those consultants that you were naming, that they used to be maybe business consultant, and now they are AI consultant.
Exactly.
We were envisioning a world that everybody was an AI something. So this is very expected, and everybody has to catch on with the game. If you were a realtor, now you are going to have to be an AI realtor.
Yeah.
You are going to have to incorporate AI in your
AI
everything.
lawyer. We don't do the research by hand. We have robots that do it better and faster and cheaper than sending out first-year law students or something.
So AI is not going to be a part of your brand. It's going to be a part of the reality of your work.
Wow. Right now, I'm going to back up. I think everybody's rushing to add AI to everything. I'm not just an attorney. I'm an AI attorney. I'm not just a real estate. I'm a real estate with AI something behind me. We can find it. We can search it. We can gather it. Because the AI is a way to gather and handle huge amounts of data that humans could never, physically couldn't search for or sort through or figure out.
So we as humans, we evolve with the technology that we create.
We evolve with the technology that we create.
create.
We create it, and therefore it changes
therefore it
us.
evolves us, yes.
Wow.
The last time it happened was computers, right?
Yeah.
Now you cannot say that, hey, I'm a computer lawyer, because to be a lawyer, you are going to be anything. You are going to have to use a computer,
Isn't
right?
that the truth?
That wasn't the case 20 years ago.
That is absolutely true. There were some of us that were still. I was a PR person in the old days. The PR person, we wrote out the press release, we typed it up, we mailed it in, or we hand delivered it later, we faxed it in. Now it's a whole different way to communicate stories and information, and it's all computer. I just get pitches all the time via the computer. Nobody calls me up like the old days.
And AI is going to be the exact same thing. And my mission is to help companies and people and entrepreneurs to navigate this transition.
And to integrate this technology into your existing business, not just because you have to keep up with the Joneses, because if you do, you will find it a tool to do what? Help you be more efficient, helps you be come up with better results, open doors you never thought of before. What is it this is technology? If you'd come to me in 1980 and said, Paul, you're going to have a computer, everybody's going to have a computer, lots of them, I would have said, to do what?
So the main problem that we're trying to solve is that you are a craftsman. You have love for your craft. In your case, you're a radio host. You have love for
how to
hosting.
Talk, ask questions.
You know everything about it.
Right.
But can you employ an entire room of? You can't, right?
No.
Writers. But it's still,
I can't afford to have a staff like there once were in radio stations or newspapers.
And a lot of the small businesses in our community have the same problem. They are great entrepreneurs. They are really good at their craft. But, if you're a baker and you're baking your bread and doing that, can you at the same time answer your phone calls? Can you, take orders?
Schedule your employees,
So
file your taxes, whatever else business functions that
there
you
you
have
go.
to do.
Only if you have had a wingman that didn't need to get paid to do the job for you, and you could focus on what makes money for you.
And might do the better job than those you would hire.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So the wingman can really cover your back, like the old, we're talking about Top Gun kind of thing here, that analogy of somebody that's always got your back and is helping you out. And if you master this, the robot works pretty cheap and pretty fast and pretty effective.
So the analogy that I offer to my friends usually is F-35. Is
F-35.
when you are piloting an F-35, you're really not piloting the airplane. The AI in the airplane is doing the piloting.
Yeah.
What you're the commander. You're focusing on mission. You don't have no time to do the actual piloting.
Lift the flap, adjust the thrust.
The cabin pressure, scan your environment. No, you have a mission. You have to focus on, first of all, being a single life, and second of all, delivering your mission objectives.
We had somebody in a while ago. It's interesting to go down a rabbit hole again for a second. The B-1 and B-2 bombers, the stealth bombers, right? So-called stealth bombers, the flying wing. And Grumman Northrop came up with that idea in the 40s, late 40s and 50s, and did a prototype of a flying wing. But it was hard to fly. It had no tail. It had no vertical surface. It was really hard to control. So they had the control surfaces and the fly-by-wire technology had to develop so they could do this easier. But somebody came in who had worked on that project and said the real thing was computers. They're adjusting constantly, every half a split second, the wing, because it's really hard to fly. If you just threw a human in there with a jockey stick, they'd crash. There are so many adjustments they have to make because of its unique design. And the only way it flies, the only way, is by a sequence of robots constantly adjusting all the things
That's
that go
true.
into staying in the air.
What it really is a robot. That is, it has an adaptive control technology in it that makes it fly. Otherwise, it wouldn't
would
take
crash,
off. It
right.
wouldn't take off.
Right. So
So,
now the pilot isn't necessarily responsible for that. It's the mission. Where are we going? The overall plan. You're the general. You're not just the soldier.
you are now a commander, and you can even command an army of drones that are playing your wingmen.
Anduril, the big technology here, we haven't had them in. I'm trying to get them in here. They have a new technology out, not just them. The new specifications in the Air Force is that there's a piloted plane with a fleet of drones following them.
Yeah, there you go. So what we are doing, what I am doing, my mission is that bring that sense to your business.
You're going to bring a fleet of drones to my
I'm
business.
going to bring a fleet of AI drones, AI agents that play your wingman in your business so that you can focus on your mission.
I love it. So I can be Tom Cruise.
You can be Tom Cruise. Even better.
All right.
Well,
So
actually, what? Your airplane is going to be Tom Cruise.
the airplane's Tom Cruise. That was kind of the last movie. He's kind of admitting that the day of his days numbered. The day of the hotshot jockey pilot is on the wane. It's going to be robots flying these planes and doing dogfights or competing.
Yeah. So the change in paradigm is not that AI is taking the jobs of humans. AI is the means for humans to elevate to higher jobs.
I like that. So we don't have to do the grunt work anymore here.
That's true.
Well, you have figured out how to do the grunt work for me on a task I had only dreamed of, which was, if I'm a community voice, could we create a community calendar? And that seems to be coming to fruition. You can go to OC Talk Radio, look up community calendar, and it just looks like, what's the big deal? There's just a calendar, and there's 1 billion little events. How did we find them? How do we add them in? We're going to make it even more intense as we keep developing this. We'll make it searchable and categories, and stuff will pull up, and you can find links to it and all this stuff. We want to be the central voice for the community. That's always been our goal. And because of the work Hamid's doing with us here, and he could do for you, you might become not just the guy, or a guy doing what you do. You could become the guy in your field, in your community here.
I can help you to disrupt your market. By the way, Paul, do I have a little time to talk about the primary product of my company?
Sure. You got 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes. What I just said, we have boiled it down to what we call universal AI technology.
Okay.
And I believe Google and Microsoft got it wrong. They're putting AI in every product, spreadsheet, Word.
Yeah.
It should be the other way around. You should be interfacing with AI. Then AI is going to supposed to do your spreadsheet and so on. So we have actually done this as a primary product of Universal Informatics. It is called Universal AI. It looks like a chat interface. We also have an avatar interface that you can talk to it like a real human. You did talk to it. And what it does, is that it connects to your spreadsheet, it connects to your email, to your contacts, and it does manage everything for you. All you have to do is talk to it.
Is this an overstatement? But it's sort of like Outlook or Gmail
It is
on
steroids.
steroids. And so it's not something I
yeah.
just type in and it responds. I talk to it and it does the work for me.
Yeah, so it's what it is called is an AI productivity platform. It is designed to replace Outlook.
Wow. Well, with that bold claim, you've now talked to the man who's going to replace Outlook, who is replaced. Outlook's already on its way out. All this stuff we're trying to figure out other ways and better ways to do it. So it's exciting to be part of it, to see it applied in my own little world, in my own little sphere, in my own little business here. And I think that everybody, if they took the time to talk to you, could probably find an application that you could help them develop, or an agent or an idea to help them bring these new computers, these new robots. As we once fought adding computers into the office, now we wouldn't think of running a business without them. Same thing's true with AI. We won't think of running a business without these robotic agents here. How do they reach you? How do they find you?
I have a website, k.thecreator.org. K creator, in K is like K and K.
Like the K for
Yes,
king?
yes.
Your middle initial and the initial
There
of your
it
last
is.
name?
I
So
did
K, say it again, K?
the creator, but creator with K.
K.
.org.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again. K the creator?
Yes.
K.
K dot the creator. .org.
K the dot the
Dot the
creator.
creator. That's
But
the
the
website.
creator has a K just like you have
There
a
you
K.
go.
K
And
dot
search
creator.
for us. Find our podcast, find our website, search for Universal Informatics, Universal AI. Probably you're going to be able to find us.
And will they talk to you or will they talk to a robot?
They will talk to me.
Okay. Thank you for joining us here today. You're real. Should I go over and pinch you and make sure that you're not just an AI-generated image here?
I don't promise, no.
All right. Thank you so much. This is exciting. I hope you'll come back as we roll out our project with you, as we hear more about the work you're doing with others. This is the cutting edge. This is the future. Don't fear it. Embrace it. As we all fought computers or all fought any sort of technology change, at some point we realized it's indispensable. It allows us to do things we never could have imagined. That's what AI, this new world of AI, artificial intelligence, robotic, large language models, all the different things it's called, all they really are your wingmen to help cover your back and handle the stuff, to give you the freedom to do what you really want to do, which is create and do what you do best. All right, thank you so much for joining us. One more time, what's the name of the company?
Universal Informatics, and the product is Universal AI.
Go look it up. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in each and every time to hear the future today on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine. Feel applied innovation, where the future is being created today.